Hey everyone, welcome to the video. And today we have Barsha Das with us, and we are going to discuss about DevRel, more about DevRel, and what are the roles and responsibilities DevRel deal with their day-to-day work, and like how someone can get started, how you can start creating content, managing all the community aspects, building and engagement, all the stuff that we are going to discuss with Barsha. So yeah, you can start with your introduction.
So, hey everyone, and thanks Devang for calling me onto your channel. A brief intro about myself. I'm actually a developer advocate at evmux.com. EVMux, unlike Riverside, is also a video streaming platform, and Riverside, the place we are using this to shoot, is actually a rival of evmux.com. So we are building the next gen video streaming platform that helps you stream on cloud. And we have also brought in different AI apps and gadgets owing to the fact that 2023 has been a year for artificial intelligence. So yes, this is a brief about what I do at VMux, and apart from internal developer relations that I handle, I'm also instrumental in managing different communities all across the globe, not just evmux.com. I'm associated with companies like Pesto.tech, MetWeLearn, and different other communities which are available across the globe in the Web3 space, like dot names, like Telos, etc.
Yeah, that's cool. And personally, when I visited your profile, I also explored the EV Mux, and it would be great if you tell us, audience, what is EV Mux and what it is.
Sure. So EVMux is actually a video streaming platform on the web. So it's a web RTC platform that's utilized to stream videos like what we're discussing, whether you're streaming a game or you're recording a podcast, or even if you're recording a physical live event, something which is happening on a stage or something which is happening on a platform, you simply just turn your camera, connect it with evmux.com, and it helps you stream to whoever is watching you with top-notch 1080p streaming quality, which is provided in their free tier. And the paid tier is nothing but the cherry on top of the cake. One of the benefits you get by availing the paid tier is to get the watermark out there. Otherwise, you just get some extra storage, extra streaming resolution. But what you exactly get in the free tier is, I think, more than enough for most people. So that's EVMux for you. And if you're more interested in video streaming and to understand how video streaming works, you head on to evmux.com, try out the platform yourself, reach out to me if you face any problems, and definitely do check out the blogs that we keep publishing every single day, and also the tutorials which are recorded by the head of our content there, so that you can better navigate the platform and make use of the best streaming platforms out there.
Yeah, it's a open source, or its code base is available only for the companies and the engineers of the.
No, it's not an open source project. It's a closed source project which is run by these companies called xstack.com and dvworks.com. They are like a parent company. So yeah, it's closed source.
Yeah, and what are your roles and responsibilities at EV Mux? Like what you do as a DevRel?
Sure. So EVMAX is actually a company with a very core size small team. Unlike people having 40, 50 people in the team, we are just 12 people running the entire company. 12 people is more than enough in scaling the product to at least 500,000 customers every month. We have very dedicated personnel to handle different sides of the business, of course, when you talk about finance, accounting, people, product, appliances, regulations, etc. But when I joined the company as a product and people person. So I was actually heading product. I was the head of product at EVMux. Helped them build the cloud leg and cloud storage provisioning, and also help them navigate into launching AI apps and widgets about 1.5 years ago. Uh, Handling different aspects of product management, product designing, product development, and just go-to-market GTM strategy for EVMux. Apart from that, I was also handling people operations at EVMux, how developers are coming together, how different members of the community they come together and share their thoughts and how they utilize EVMux. Since EVMux is more of a utility platform where people exactly come in and they try different things out at EVMux as a product. What EVMux really wants is that POC, a person of contact, who would help them with almost everything that's about to come. And I was not intentional in getting into the space which people today know as developer relations, developer advocacy, because many people are not able to fathom what these two roles exactly mean. There is a
Yeah.
set which is called internal developer advocacy, and there is something called an external developer advocacy. What happens with most people that you see on different social media platforms, whether that is Twitter, LinkedIn, and stuff like that, who talk about developer advocates, who use the designation of developer advocates, they predominantly work on the external environments of the surroundings. But of course, they have correlation to working of what's happening within the company. I am more of an internal developer advocate, helping the developers in-house and the B2B clients we have. So you will not see me being vocal about external developer advocacy on social media platforms. You will not see me announcing different things on socials as much as my content team does the play. So I'm more of an internal developer advocate, helping spearheading where the product is going, how are we scaling, and my predominant forte and my focus and specialty is growing the business. So whether that requires a product expertise or people expertise, I come in with both of them. So that's what I do at EVMux.
Okay. And I think uh, definitely like commercial project needs more to scale like their own project and their documentations compared to if open source project, and if someone join the DevRel team, so he have to more focus on the building community, having that social media presence for that particular project or the company to spread across the developer that they are building particular tool or particular platform. So developers come and contribute to their repo. And I think that's correct me if I'm wrong. As you mentioned, internal and external DevRel. External DevRel maybe more focus on the social media, giving a talk at conferences and spreading the awareness on the social medias. And internal who is focused more on documentation, maybe creating the content strategy for their growing their particular community available on Discord or any other platform.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's two kind of DevRel. And when you started as a DevRel, like when you find DevRel is something you want to do, or just like you join AVM Marks and then you promote it to DevRel. Like what is the story behind it?
Sure. So I am not one of those people who intended to become what you today call as developer advocate. It's my company people who wanted me to take up the role. Rather than me
Okay,
telling them what I would take up, it's them encouraging me to take up. They said that in the company, you are the spearheaded person who would probably take up a role like this and probably move it forward, both externally and internally. So it's something, it's a role that came to me rather than me going and approaching it, unlike with what happened with
okay,
most people. Because as I mentioned, I came into the company with the context of growing the business in terms of product and in terms of people. So my focus was that. So when they saw that I had this internal understanding and this fundamental overview of what's happening with the product, how is the product getting built, how is its alliances happening with the other market standards or industry standards, and how the community members that we have, which is predominantly active over Facebook rather than Twitter or Discord. Because unlike today, what you see with developer communities, they're mostly active on Discord or they're available
yeah,
on Twitter. But with EVMark's primary audiences, they exist on Facebook because our age group is predominantly quite higher than most people. So people are in the age bracket of 32 to 45. And those are the people who wants to take streaming to an extremely different level. It's not that amateurs are recording video and they just want to publish it on YouTube. They don't have fundamental things like that. For us, an average EVMux customer wants to use streaming so that when, let's say, in a Christmas setting, the the person who is in charge of the church would like to be able to stream different events which is happening in the church. So as you can understand, it's not entirely about what's happening on YouTube or what's happening on the developer ecosystem, but EVMux is a platform which is much more suited into uh, aligning with traditional needs and conventional modes of doing work. Whether you're, working out and you're organizing a, singing event or a dancing event, you would want EVMux to be a platform which streams the event to the rest of the world. So we would like to focus on this regard, and that's that's exactly what we do.
Okay, that's interesting. And I mostly connected with the open source projects and the maintainers, DevRel and community. You are the first one, like I'm connecting with the commercial side. So the thing that I want to know, the business strategies and the plans, like how you develop or how you build with a, how you come with a new feature that you want to introduce to your platform. Just like in open source, the business or the pricing plan happens when they grow their user base. Just like more people are like getting to more use to their platform, and when they grow 10,000, 20,000, they introduce their paid plan. Like particular resource or particular feature you want to use, you have to pay for that after reaching out to certain audience. So how the business and how the those things execute in the commercial side, just like the business strategies and business plans. Like, and I think you are also part of their team as a business that you mentioned. You joined to grow EVMux business side. So tell us about that.
So essentially, this is a time when I basically talk about a different side of work. That is, most people that you probably end up interviewing, they are representing the open source community. I mean, I have
Yeah,
seen most of the audience you've interviewed so far belong to the open source community. But the perspective of those people are very different than what I am going to tell you now. But before I tell you what's my perspective, I also need to know what is the ideology that they essentially come from. So if you have featured certain people from the open source community, you will see them talking about the product, but they're also talking about community that, hey, we do this, we do that. You've
yeah,
seen people like that. But
yeah.
how many people have you interviewed or have you spoken to so far who has actually taken down the commercial role of building a product, who has taken into the business side of the product? How many people have you spoken to so far?
Not really. Like, not to the people.
Not to the people, especially because I see that this severe understanding of the business side of what's happening of the developer ecosystem is very important. And I think one of the people that I think you should consider moving ahead and talk to is probably Bart Farrell.
Yeah.
If you know Bart, he's from GOK community, Data on Kubernetes. So Bart and I, we literally, when we synced up quite a few months ago, we synced up on the phase that there are so many people in the developer ecosystem who doesn't have business understanding of what's happening in the developer ecosystem market on a commercial level. And he and I, we usually, whenever we meet, we talk about the commercial aspects of it. We talk about venture capital. We talk about what's the amount of money which is flowing into a certain industry and how is that money getting allocated. So today in this particular call, primarily what we are gonna understand is how this commercial side works. How do we decide what products to ship to the market, what features to add and what features to take out. Essentially, this happens through a very penetrated market understanding of what's happening in the market. And a lot of developers who are working, they might not have the understanding. They might have the skills to build, but they will not probably have a very overall understanding of what's happening in the developer ecosystem market all across the globe, just not in India or UK or US. So number one thing is having market understanding. How do you have market understanding? You use different resources at hand, like very publications you study. You speak to industry professionals. You speak to people. You try out different products out in the market. You go and explore different products which are available on App Store, Play Store, or different other places like on the web as well. You download and you see. When you use, let's say, 3 to 4 products and you test it out on your system, you realize what are the things that the product is lacking and what is the thing that the customers today in 2023 and beyond are going to demand out of a certain product? How is video conferencing going to change in the coming 5 to 6 months? What's going to happen in the next 1 year? What is the market size of the domain that I'm working in? If you're working in the space of Kubernetes, you need to understand, people understand that, okay, Kubernetes is this, we build this with Kubernetes, but hardly do people realize what is the future of Kubernetes.
Yeah.
Hardly there are stances when people question what is going to happen to Kubernetes 5 years from now? How is it going to evolve? How are microservices going to evolve? All of these different topics. I don't have to go deeper into this, but it all comes with this internal and this inherent curiosity in understanding what's happening in the market and the product out there. So one of the fortes that essentially I bring to the table is the 0 to 1 understanding of different things. So that is the reason. I am in EVMux because I look into different other operations from both product side of it and the business of it. Like the market that I'm entering, how is my product fitting well? Or the product that I'm launching, what features does the initial product have that is probably present in other products like Riverside? What can I learn from Riverside? How can I implement it? How can I ship it fast? So there are a lot of different things considered when you're looking into the commercial aspect of different things. How are these projects priced? Why is this project asking me for a $5 subscription every month? Why has this been priced in a certain way? All of these things come from a very different fundamental understanding of pricing, about go-to markets, about product penetration, about brand strategy, content strategy, and all of these put together. So you need to have very multilingual and multi-diverse domain study in order to determine all of this.
Okay, that's interesting. And as you mentioned, like very few people are able to figure out what is the future of Kubernetes and microservices. So there are very high level people who can understand. They are very used to and very senior people who can
Yeah.
just think about that, like what will be going to happen in next maybe 2 years or 3 years. Uh, like for a basic example, just like ChatGPT, we have no idea what coming, and right now ChatGPT comes and you are like using ChatGPT on day-to-day basis, like for everything. Yeah. Like you're a part of EVMux right now, and you mentioned that you're a part of business and growth and content. So how much technical knowledge or the development knowledge involves in your role as a like if you're preparing for any technical documentation for EVMux, so you sit with the engineers and communicate like how its particular API is built, like how much technical knowledge it involves in just doing all those stuff.
See, I think uh, when you're approaching, let's say, a domain or even a subject, it is very fundamental to understand what you can do with the tech stack that you're working on. Because you can almost build infinite amount of things or infinite products based on a particular tech stack. But when you talk about what's the amount of knowledge that is required, or like at what competency should a developer have to build a product of that caliber, it's very fundamental to understand that your basics should be extremely strong, because you do
Okay.
not know what your company is going to build. You have no understanding, because until you're a decision maker in the company, you hardly have a choice to suggest them, hey, I think you should build this. Hey, I think you should integrate a feature like this. So, uh, essentially, what happens is that if you think that you will bounce a lot of knowledge into your head, like read 10 books, 15 books, and get all the knowledge, that never works like that. You need to be practically implementing them in order to do something and in order to have that knowledge that retains in your mind. Most people, I think, struggle with it. They literally burden themselves with so many things, and they don't understand how to build with it. So I think
Yeah.
the best way to enter any industry is to get your basics strong, because the times have been changing way faster than the last 5 years. Like your company or the company that you must be employed with in the next few months or year, they should be building products every 3 months or every 5 months. And they might be building very different kinds of products, not the same kind of products. Then what do you do? Does your current knowledge become a failure? Does it current knowledge become something of no use? So I think it's always better to get your basics strong very fast. And when you have your basics strong, it's very important to build something with what you know. And that is, if you're learning about Kubernetes and you're looking for a job where your primary role should be working with Kubernetes, I think it's always better you understand what Kubernetes is in the first place, how it had come about, or where are people using this, or why is Kubernetes there in the first place, which is being used by industry professionals and experts. It's not possible to learn everything and anything about Kubernetes because it's a huge subject and it's going to take a lot of time. So it's always best to approach a certain field and just understand that what are the fundamental things which are required in the day-to-day life. And can I be really, really strong in that? Can I be super competent in that? It's always best to approach any field with a mindset that you know the basics, you know the principles, and it's not going to take you any time to build upon what's there to come. So even in the company that we work in, so we are doing video streaming, right? But with video streaming, we also have to take care of the cloud monitoring best practices because cloud costs are increasing so much. How do you handle
Yeah.
that? So then you will have a cloud expert on your team. You will have a developer on your team. You will have a quality assurance guy on your team. You will have a tester on your team. You will have so many people on the team, right? But every person who has been building this EVMux product for quite some time has the same basic knowledge. And all the things that they have been doing, they've built upon what has been required. I think I have practically seen people getting hands-on knowledge within the company rather than look outside. Like if they have come into the company with this provision that they're very strong in what they do, our company is instrumental in providing them hands-on training into what to build, and
Yeah.
all the resources are provided to them, and a certain amount of time is given to them, and they basically learn and replicate it, and they're able to do the work pretty faster because they have all sorts of knowledge. They have access to the best of the engineers in the world. They have access to the best of the resources, books, materials, network, and each and everything. So that is what I have seen in my professional working journey of how these companies that I have had the fortune of being associated with have actually helped these team members grow by providing them resources. Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, like working at a startup with a small team, you have to do a lot of things, just like you mentioned, like marketing, business strategies, and all the stuff. So in startups, you get a lot of things to explore, a lot of things to do, and that increase your knowledge compared to working at the company, just like MNCs or the company that they have large scales of developers, where you are going to work on particular module or particular feature of the project, I think. And yeah, I have a lot of majority of the people in my audience are students, and I am asking you in their perspective. As a student, do you think you have to explore Kubernetes, microservices, and cloud technologies, or focus more on development side, just like front end, back end, or that stuff?
See, this is a lingering question that I kind of get asked in my DMs a lot. And what I essentially tell people is that don't be influenced by people on the social media. I think it's a very unfortunate thing that many people are simply getting influenced by what's happening on social media. They follow certain people, they are doing really, really good, and they think that DevOps is the future. They think web development is the future. Like they're simply being blindly influenced, is what I'm saying. I would say that don't be blindly influenced. Of course, if you are in the first year of college, you're a fresher, and you have the next 4 years to figure a lot of those things out. I'm going to say that don't have that flexibility. Don't think in your mind that you have 4 years to do things because 4 years will get over in the blink of an eye. So I think it's
Agree.
better you should be a little more aggressive on your front. You should be literally uh, aggressive when you're building a life. I don't think so. You should be very comfortable being in your place. That you should, because what I essentially end up seeing is many people, they feed into their brains that hey, I have 4 years, I will explore, I will have fun, and all of that. Don't do that. The kind of people who give you that advice, they follow something else and they tell you something else. And there are
Agree. Yeah.
many influencers who do the same. The many influencers like, no, no, you should take your time, you should explore and stuff like that. No, that never happens. Like, if you really want to be great, if you really want to be number one, that's not a mentality you should go with. Because what
Agree.
happens is if you're giving yourself so much of time, then you're giving yourself the flexibility. You should not give yourself the flexibility. You should basically be very rigid and very disciplined about yourself that if I need to finish something, I'll do it. So, how do you exactly make a decision for life? Like, what is it that I want to really, really do, right? There are many people, I don't know, on social media, they come on social media, they come on videos and they talk about uh, that you take advices from people who has not done anything in their life. You should take advices from people who has done something in life. But do you know that there are so many people in the world whose life details or their career journeys are not even out in the public, but they are doing really, really good. They have a very low profile, key private life. So you are basically going to tell them that they have not done anything in their lives. So what I rather say is whatever that you're thinking to do, whether you want to become a developer or you want to get into DevOps, I think you should ask yourself the question the future of the industry and the future of you in that industry. I think people don't do this. I think people simply get influenced by the fact, oh, this guy is doing great with web development. Let me also get into web development. That's not how it works. You should understand what is this industry, what is happening in this industry, how can I be a fit person in this industry, what can I do good, and how can I actually grow. Many people don't do that. So the decision is not whether to go into basically DevOps or development. I think the biggest decision that you need to take is you have to judge things from an unbiased lens. I will not say more than this. I think if people intelligent enough, they'll understand what I mean.
Yeah, like whatever you said is completely true, and I agree completely because like number on social media platform, just like particular number you have as a person, and if you share particular thing with the audience, like people follow blindly. They don't ask for any proofs, and they don't uh, even check out their history that they build something with that particular technology, particular tool that they are suggesting or something. They just he has a particular amount of following and he the right, so just people follow them. Yeah,
No, but then there is a problem. There is a problem is there are many people in this world who don't share a lot of things. And you can't go behind people that, oh, once they share a lot of things on social media, I will only go and follow them. That's wrong. There are so many underground people who just keep so private that you don't even know they exist, but they're doing great.
yeah,
So I
like
think you should make the judgment yourself.
yeah, and like try to look for the people who actually build something, real projects or real something with that particular field that you're looking for. And if they don't have any social media, try to reach out them and ask, hey, I also want to be build something, like just give me some kind of help or kind of advices that I can follow. So maybe you can grow as a individual person compared to follow like taking advices from the people who never build something with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one or two things that I want to ask. You mentioned in your profile you're part of Cube Hurdle, what it is, and what is the Pestro community. Like, if I'm pronouncing wrong, Pestro or something, just correct me. And I also explored their website. It is a community which helps you to get job, and it's a developer-based community where you can interact with the people. So tell us more about that. Cube Hurdle and
So,
Pestro.
yeah. So let me start with Cube Huddle. So essentially, Cube Huddle is a cloud native Kubernetes oriented conference, which actually took place this year in the month of May. We had amazing organizers on board. You must be knowing the organizers. There are some people, if you look into the KubeHuddle website and you see their pictures, you will know that they are the organizers. So that conference took place in the city of Toronto in Canada. And it's essentially, a conference that happens on an annual basis every single year. It's also going to happen in 2024, but we'll reveal the city soon. I was the conference organizer for 2023 Q Huddle. Since 2024, there are a lot of different things going to happen, and you'll get to know if you follow my feed or the Q Huddle page and all of that. When
Okay.
you talk about Pesto, so Pesto is a company that initially started with, you know, developer education. They would basically educate developers on different technologies which are being used all across the world on a predominant basis. Let's say MERN stack or front end development, etc., etc. And once they train the developers, they would place the developers in remote companies which are based out of the United States or the United Kingdom or different other countries for that matter. But now Pesto has shifted into a much more next gen hiring basis where they're exactly encouraging people to come create a profile on their website, and they're gonna connect people with marvelous job opportunities all across the world. They are shifting from an edtech education model to an edtech hiring model.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, these are the things that I want to ask. And yeah, like I really feel I will cut this session, but I really feel dumb in front of you while you answered and all those stuff. Because like whatever you shared about the technologies and the way you learn that you mentioned, like you have to be a mindset is like if you want to explore something or want to become the top 1%, you have to be a very aggressive to that. Like all the people you have to reach out and all the learning aspects. So yeah, like really
Exactly.
true,
I really
really true
believe that
actually.
you should not. I really believe that you should not give yourself flexibility. Flexibility is a poison. You should not do that. You should actually be aggressive, and you should say that, okay, I give myself 1 month. I need to be this strong in 1 month. And I think this is not an approach that is preached on social media. And social media will find people say, take your time, explore, and all of that. That never works out.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for sharing everything that you shared with us, and thanks for sharing the time. I really appreciate.
Thank you so much.